This is the Spurs Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Antonio Spurs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
One of those nights where all we can do is just open the show and sit here and smile.
That's it.
And just acknowledge the fact that the San Antonio Spurs are going back to the NBA Finals on a season that's so unprecedented on so many fronts. It's a rematch of 1999 again after your San Antonio Spurs take care of business tonight, winning Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals against Oklahoma City. Welcome into the Spurs Postcast, of course, right here on Locked On Spurs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in the world. We are celebrating tonight. We are celebrating because, again, the San Antonio Spurs are going back to the NBA Finals.
NBA Finals,
he, of course,
yeah.
The guy who's done it before, Mr. NBA champion Devin Brown. I have not, but my name's Casey Viera. On a night where we saw, the only way I can categorize it is the ultimate team win that took 1 through 15. Everybody played their part, and that's part of the reason they're going to try to battle for that 6th championship starting next week.
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Casey, we got a lot to talk about. Man, it's great being on this side of things. So, Casey, let's break it down for everybody. Let's have a great show.
This is what you'll be talking about.
One of the most highly anticipated conference finals games, honestly, Game 7. NBA Finals Game 7, just NBA playoff Game 7s. Everything, which way analyzed from start to finish. We knew that this was going to be a test for the Spurs coming off of that 3-2 deficit, forcing the Game 7. And tonight, they pretty much showed that they weren't up for the moment. Yes, we know that at the end, but it started right from the jump. Continuing what's kind of been the trend of them opening the game strong. They opened the game on a 27-13 run, and it feels a little bit, they're like, oh, okay, you're waiting for OKC to kind of take their shot, but it's like, all right, so a 9-point lead all of a sudden is 11, and then 13-14, you're like, oh, okay, where's this punch that's coming? Because the starters, for the most part in that first quarter, well, not for the most part, they just about did. They scored 30 of the 32 points, and when OKC finally did kind of make that little bit of a surge, cut it back down to 7, Spurs up by 7 at the end of the first quarter of play. And then that surge comes out in the quarter. SGA gets hot. He had 6 points in the first, 13 in the second. And as a result, they take a 3-point lead, Oklahoma City does. But the Spurs get a nice little 7-0 spurt to end the first half to ultimately go back up by 3 and take a 56-53 edge going into the break. Come the third quarter, they come jetting out. A 16-2 run. It puts them back up by 11. Julian Champagnie goes nuclear. He has 9 of those 16 points on the run during that stretch. But again, OKC showing that championship grit. Shai was fantastic tonight. Everybody else kind of not so much, but we'll talk about that in a second. He found himself in the bonus, and he got to the free throw line, and ultimately they get back within 2, a 3-point game at the end of the fourth quarter of play. Now, here is where I'm going to talk about how things became truly the team effort, because Victor picks up his 5th foul in a 6-point game with 7 minutes to go. A stretch that saw San Antonio ultimately close things out, and we'll get more into the specifics of it in just a second. But you saw contributions from just about everybody. You saw a monster block from Luke Kornet on that first possession that Kornet checks into the game for Victor on Hartenstein, which essentially turned the focus of the game. What was a 6-point game, it maintained it at that. Harper, a couple big putbacks, including a 3. Same for Stephon Castle. And it was one of those deals where, again, it took 1 through 15 to get the job done. And the San Antonio Spurs do exactly that. They win the game 111-103. Victor, as you would expect, he is named the conference finals MVP. He goes for 22 points and 7 rebounds, played 42 minutes, but we'd be remiss to not acknowledge that it goes well beyond that. Castle 16, Fox 15, Champagnie had 20. On the other side, SGA was the high man with 35. There are so many which ways that we can spin this, we can analyze this, but I guess we kind of start with the fact that it took an effort tonight that was going to, I don't want to say be unprecedented, but kind of unprecedented in many respects, to go in and beat this team, to really dig deep and find it. And they did it. And they're going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sounds good, hearing you say that out loud every time you say it. Sounds good, Casey. It fits you. Spurs going to the NBA Finals. I was, everybody that's watching our show, I was sharing with Casey, a little heart-to-heart when he called me and asked me, hey, man, would you like to do a podcast? And, I agreed to do it because I love Spurs basketball. Casey loves Spurs basketball. And for that to start off at the beginning of the year, and now the Spurs are going to the NBA Finals, I mean, man, we're just both shocked. This is a great franchise. Again, getting back to where they deserve to be, the city of San Antonio, hearing the fireworks where I'm at. Casey, I know you're hearing them, the honking. That's what this city has thrived on for the last 25 years, and it's good for us to be back. Now, to the game. Wemby, we'll start with Wemby because that's where it starts and ends. I was very honest with Casey. I said the second quarter, Wemby, we need to leave him. I don't want to see him when we play the Knicks in the finals. Tentative, wasn't really being assertive, wasn't, playing the way Wemby played. But other than that, Wemby was great, and he deserves to be, the MVP because he's the franchise guy. Mm-hmm. He's going to eventually be the face of the league. It was great seeing him beat SGA on his home floor, and we move on from that. Juju, man. Hey, listen, man, before game one, man, hey, get your agent. You and your agent, go sit down in that office with Brian Wright. Get that check right. Because Champagnie was awesome. He hit some big shots, timely shots. He was great. So we know we want to see him moving forward in the Spurs uniform. But the guy that is going to go, and he needs a lot of credit for the first half because I think he hit some big shots. And I know he was 4 of 14 from the field. But Devin Vassell, man, defensively, he's been great all series. And he hit some big shots. Like I said, I know it was only 4, and 3 of them might have come in that first half. But at the time he was hitting them, it was big for San Antonio. And I just wanted to give him a big shout out. But when you look at it, you had all 5 guys that started in double figures. You had Keldon, and you had Harper in double figures. That's 7 guys, Casey. That's been the Spurs recipe all year. And in the biggest game of the year, it went right to the way Mitch has been cooking up that gumbo all year.
It hasn't tasted better. This is the best batch he's made all year, right? Best batch he's made all year.
This that good Louisiana batch.
It's the good Louisiana batch. Man, I look at tonight, and I don't say this as hyperbole. I think it's legitimately true. I cannot remember the last time I have seen such a team win on such magnitude with so much at stake, where everyone just did their job. Everyone just did their job, what they needed to do, even if it was in the slightest of capacities, what they did it. You mentioned.
Can I speak to that point?
Speak to it. Go ahead.
When you have Wemby, of his stature, of his aura, everything that he brings to San Antonio, in tears, hugging his teammates, that's what basketball at the highest level is about. Because he speaks to exactly what you're talking about. Wemby knew, and when you're throwing it to Wemby and he's throwing it out to you in the fourth quarter, I've seen a guy live, Kobe. He didn't do things like that. It was on him to score for his team. Wemby is so unselfish. And when you see him not depending on those guys, but believing in those guys, and they're having success, and it brings him to tears after the game, that tells you what you have in Victor Wembanyama.
No, you're right. And not only that, like, not only like the actual schematics of it, like you said, of just the X's and O's out there on the floor, watching him on the bench and that big sequence towards the end where Cornette has this monster block, chase down block on Isaiah Hartenstein in a 6-point game where Wemby heads to the bench with 5 fouls, and you're just asking for Cornette to give you a solid 2-3. What was that? 2 possessions? 3 possessions?
I had 1 minute 58. I may be wrong, but I thought a minute 58 or something around there.
So you're just asking for 2 minutes there for Luke Cornette to not lose any ground on that 97-91 lead. That's it. You are just saying hold your ground at that point. And he does that. And then when he goes out, they're up by 9. And in many respects, that block that he had essentially turned the game on its head, right? I mean, that essentially turned the game, because that was OKC's real shot, or one of their better ones, to get that momentum deal, because Spurs go up by 11 early in that fourth quarter, and the Thunder were just sweating this entire time to get anything going outside of Shai. Anything, literally nothing.
Anything if your last name wasn't Wallace.
Yeah. Yeah. Casey Wallace did keep him afloat. He played very well tonight. He got the start. He had 17 points at 5 of his 9 threes. Like you said, he kind of did everything he needed to do, but OKC got nothing. And the guy who is going to have the worst summer of anyone in the league is Chet Holmgren. 4 points, 1 of 2 from the field, 4 rebounds. I mean, we're not here to talk about Oklahoma City's problem. I'm just here reading the numbers.
Hey, we have some Oklahoma people in the shout out to you guys, but I
appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We do.
Yeah.
We do. In good sportsmanship, of course. I'm just kind of at the point where I look at this and I just kind of think collectively the whole season and how much this team has. It's cliche to say, like, okay, how much they've grown, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Yeah, they've done that.
Yep.
But the idea that this team has been consistent and they've stuck to kind of their principles, and knowing that there was going to be a drop off at times, maybe not much in the win-loss side of things, but they were going to have their regressions, and they know they were going to have their highs and their lows in time, where some guys looking great, other guys looking not. But tonight, again, it just spoke to the idea that, like, this is the pinnacle, or at this point, the pinnacle, of course, it would be beating the Knicks, but up to this point, like, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Hey, so let's go. We're gonna go back. You wanted to go back? We'll go back.
Yeah, we'll go back.
It's back draft night when Dylan Harper's name was called, and everybody's going, we have enough guards. What are the Spurs doing? But I go back to what it is that I said, and I go, no. What Brian, what RC were trying to do is they realized in the 5 championships, we've always had a competitive locker room. We push guys. When you look at it, okay, yeah, you have Castle, you have Fox, and you have Harper, and we go between the 3 of them. Are they going to play the 3 of them? Mm-hmm. How are they going to work this out? No, what it did was it pushed one of them. Every one of them, between the 3 of them, pushed one another. Okay? Wemby's going to be Wemby. We know that now. All right? I've learned that about him through this season. Wemby's going to be Wemby. As much as we want him to dominate in the paint, he goes, hey, man, watch me work. I can do all of it. He's done all of it. Now, with those 3, with him, with Juju, with Fox, with Vassell, with Keldon, God. I mean, you go on and on and on. It's a very competitive locker room. So there might be practices when these guys leave and they go, man, the games are easy. I gotta beat this guy Carter Bryant off the dribble in practice when we practice on Monday. That's how you start thinking as a player. And when you do that, this is what you get. And let's not. I don't want to forget this. Okay, Coach Mitch. Okay, Coach Mitch had this team ready to go on the road, Game 7. It took a Game 5, now that we look at it, it took a Game 5 to prepare them for a Game 7. And I think that was huge, Casey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we haven't even talked about the Mitch part of it, right? Like, we haven't even talked about the Mitch Johnson aspect of it. And the fact that he has again, all the things that I just said as that was applicable to the players are applicable to Mitch Johnson as well.
Yeah.
Gone from
No,
someone.
you have to be.
Yeah. And gone from someone who just kind of went from the narrative that this is just kind of a placeholder, so to speak, from the top, right? And this is just, they tell him what to do and he does that. He's established his complete identity. He's become his own man. He's the coach of the year in my biased and probably unbiased opinion now, seeing this team reach the finals, even though he didn't win. It's crazy.
It is crazy,
it's
but
special. It's special.
the whole thing is he's established himself, or he's put a great blueprint in there for his first full season to get the San Antonio Spurs, not the Memphis Grizzlies, not this other team, the San Antonio Spurs back to the finals.
Well, and just think like the bar I felt like was just relevancy for this season, right? Like that was
I thought
just
it was
like
getting to the playoffs, be a 6, 7, 8 seed.
But that's what I mean for him. Like the bar was just relevancy. Have a winning season, be competitive, make the playoffs. You get waxed in the first round by Denver, whatever.
Learn and grow. Exactly.
Learn and grow, and all those things. And
hey, Casey, he said, hey, watch me work.
Watch me go to work. We're gonna go to the NBA Finals. Rematch of 1999. Unbelievable. All right. So let's kind of get some early returns on that. Get our early thoughts on this rematch of 99 against a New York Knicks team that's looking the part of every bit of a championship contender right now, and one that has played tough against the Spurs this season. We'll analyze that coming up on the other side of the break right here on the Spurs Postcast on Locked On Spurs. San Antonio is going to the NBA Finals. Drink it in, Alamo City, man. Just let that marinate. Let that marinate. Still trying to find the words. What's just been a unbelievable night in this city. We will do that, though, until then, talking to you about our friends over there, Indeed Sponsored Jobs. If you're looking for someone to help with that vacancy that you've had for a considerable amount of time, and you're just trying to get the basics, the skills, experience, location, head on over to Indeed Sponsored Jobs. In a minute or so, we've been talking, companies like your own have made 27 hires on Indeed, that according to Indeed and data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time finding the candidates, the ones that matter, with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. $75 sponsored job credit. That's what 75 sponsored status. Head on over to indeed.com/podcast. All right. Our friends over there at Kalshi, they've had a busy stretch with this Western Conference Finals because a lot of people were invested in this series one way or another. With Kalshi, you can trade on every single playoff game, every series, every conference finals, as you knew at home, and of course, the championship that is starting next week. On Kalshi, in case you're not familiar, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house you're against. And as probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app, use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10. One more time for you, KALSHI, Kalshi, where you can trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility contracts or requirements do apply. Event contract trading involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those that's mentioned. Head on over to kalshi.com/regulatory for more information. All right. The good thing with DoorDash, you guys know they got you on any single occasion, whether it's been having a watch party, whether it is celebrating after your team just won the Western Conference, maybe even more, because with DoorDash, every player's got their bag and they make sure you have one as well, keeping the snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. The nights that you're feeling stressed, the nights that you're feeling good, it's been emotional, all of that in the playoffs for you guys at home. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Snacks, drinks, gear, all the good stuff, whatever gets you through the season, right to your door with DoorDash in your bag all season long. A rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals awaits starting Wednesday against the New York Knicks. Game 1 in San Antonio. A New York Knicks team that's looking for their first championship in 53 years. A New York Knicks team that has not been to the finals since said 1999. A lot of interesting parallel symmetry. That kind of awaits. Of course, Tim Duncan won his first championship in said NBA finals back in 1999. Things are a whole lot different now. a whole lot different now on many fronts. I'm not even sure where to start. I'm tremendously excited, that above all else, to see this, because if you ask me, we've talked all year. I mean, I've through the highs and lows with the Knicks, that's been the one team that I've stood pat. I was like, I think they're winning the East. I know it's going to take some time. They're winning the East. They gave the Spurs issues this year. I told you, if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm not mistaken, because I remember saying this when Champagnie went off in San Antonio on New Year's Eve. I remember telling you, I was like, the Knicks were the best team I've watched in person this season.
You did.
I remember telling you that. So this is, if you want legacies written and you want kind of, people are going to say, oh, Oklahoma City was hurt, blah, 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 whatever. This Knicks team is the ultimate litmus test for sure.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not going to do what I did. Yeah, I am. There goes OKC, Casey. We're done with them. Hey, here's the thing. I want you to think about this. Okay. Number one, I was going to ask you, Casey. I don't know where you were in 99, but I was at the game. My sister, her name's Crystal. She was one of the ball girls for the Spurs. So I have ties to that 99. My mom, dad, and I went to all the finals games that were here. And then me being a part of 03 and 05, obviously, from there. But I want you to think about this before we go, because I know we got time. We're going to break this down later.
We got some time.
Oh, we got some time. Okay.
Yeah, we got some time.
I want you to think about this. When you look at their roster, I go hard. I'm matching him up with Fox. I like the Spurs in that situation. Brunson, Castle, they cancel each other out. Bridges, Vassell, we can go Vassell on that. Towns, Wemby, we can go Wemby on that. OG is where I have a problem. It's one of my favorite players.
I was going to say, OG's your guy. This is the crossroads for you.
OG's on my 2K. He's on my 2K team. Hey, listen. Hey, and I got James Harden on there too. That's another story. I won't get into that, but OG saves us a lot of nights. But let me tell you this. When you look at the matchup and you have Mike Brown, let's not forget Mike Brown. Mike Brown spent a lot of time with Pop. He knows the Spurs. He knows their organization. It would be, just another feather in his cap to take one away from San Antonio. But when I look at it, Casey, they're going to be 4 out and 1 in. That kind of plays to the Spurs' hands, okay? They just saw this, and it's crazy because they just saw this with OKC, and it's preparing them for how the Knicks are going to be. Now, are the Knicks...
In. Hold on, you're the 4 out. Who's the 1 in?
For the Knicks?
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns.
I guess, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I know. He's got a little Wemby in him. When he gets in the paint, he starts coughing and getting COVID. Yes, I get it.
I'm only saying that because they feel like they've found this whole deal where they've run this. The Knicks like to call it cat as the hub, right? And as a result, you've seen a lot more off the ball stuff with Brunson setting back screens. They kill you with like OG in the corner, but they get OG on that dunker spot in the baseline. Part of that deal is that they get Bridges has been hitting that midi. It's been freeing that part up. That's the only reason I bring that up. Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off. Continue.
Yep. And then I'm just gonna let you know that we don't have Mitchell or Harden who make $50 million a year that choose not to play defense in the conference finals. We have some guys that are actually going to guard you. Yeah. So if they want to say hub, smub, trying to get a dub, I'm not worried about any of that. All right. Because San Antonio they're going to guard these guys. Yeah. So Karl Anthony Towns, if he wants to hang out there on the 3-point line, him and Wemby, then they're going to cancel each other out. And then if you're a guard and you're, looking for a contract, Juju,
right,
get some rebounds, right? But I think it's going to be a fun series. I think you're going to have to keep an eye on Shamet. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to keep an eye on Jordan Clarkson. He's from San Antonio, courtesy of Wagner High School.
Yep.
So it's going to be a fun series, and it's going to be a guard-oriented series. Mm-hmm. And we're I'm going to tell you what, game 1, game 2 are where, Casey? Better take care of
like
home.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't think Wemby hates the Knicks like he hates Chet. But I think there's an element of Wemby with the Knicks that after that first game where he played out his rookie year, he played garbage at MSG, and the fans were chanting overrated. I think there's just a little something there because ever since they've just been, it brings it out of them, right? Because that following year, his rookie year, that was the year Brunson pops off for 60 in San Antonio, but Wemby finishes the game. He goes 40 and 20, and then they get the win. The following year on Christmas, Wemby goes off, but so does Mikal Bridges, and the Knicks get the win. This year, they're playing in the Cup, and the Knicks get the better of them in the Cup. And then they play that great game on New Year's Eve. And then when the Spurs go to the Garden, they're riding that, whatever it was, 11-game, 12-game winning streak. And the Knicks blow their doors off in the Garden that night.
And think about one of the, if people think back to that game in which, they win. So now I'm preparing for them. And do you remember who really hurt San Antonio in that second half? Was the left-handed guard off the bench. And he hasn't even really played in the playoffs. Tyler
Kolek hasn't killed him in the Cup. Yeah.
And he hasn't played. So that might be an avenue Coach Brown goes into. We'll see as the series moves on. But my point is that San Antonio, they've been on this, like, teams have gotten the better of us or we've gotten the better of them. And now they're in that same situation. And Casey, it's not one game. It's the best of seven. I'm going to be interested in, and game one, game two, I'll really pay attention to because we have to. But I want to know how the Spurs are going to act when they start seeing some of their favorite movies. They start seeing some of those stars, Tracy Morgan, Ben Stiller, Denzel Washington will be there. I want to see how they start acting when they start seeing those guys. Because let me tell you something. First time I met Denzel Washington, and I have, in the Garden, I'll tell you why. PJ Carlesimo was our coach, and guess what? Denzel played college basketball for PJ Carlesimo. He introduced me to. Yeah, that's very true.
Really?
Denzel Washington played college basketball, and his head coach was PJ Carlesimo. He introduced me to Denzel. Hey, let me tell you something. Everything you see in the movies is how he is in person. It was a quick 30 seconds, but I did meet him. Hey, but I'll tell you what, when those stars come in there now, Spurs fans, let's treat them with respect. They're going to come down here with a lot of people. Treat them with respect. Let them get out of the building. But we're going to beat their butts on the floor. We don't need anything extra. But I'll tell you something. I want to know, Casey, honestly, game 3, game 4, how the Spurs react to that environment. It is not OKC. Not the guys making a lot of money doing oil. This is going to be heavyweight celebrities at that game.
Well, it's interesting, and just because we got to get out of here, but it's interesting now that you bring it up because the Knicks haven't played well in San Antonio, and the Spurs have not played well at the Garden. So something's got to give here. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to go into it, but I'll just tell you. The Knicks their fan base does a great job. Those first 2 rows all around the bowl right there, they do a great job. We're there for the game.
It's a tough place, man. It's going to be a tough series. 2 best fan bases probably in the sport, in my opinion. I mean, it is going to be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Much like was the case for the player of the game tonight. I know this is usually Devin's call to do that. I hit the button, but I'm going to decide who it is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And it is everybody wearing that silver and black San Antonio Spurs jersey tonight. Because while Victor, of course, gets all the accolades and deservedly so, this does not happen tonight with solely Victor Wembanyama alone. It took everyone who touched that floor tonight to do their part. They did, and now they're back in the NBA Finals.
Hey, listen, man, that's great, Casey, and I love that. I appreciate that. I am getting emotional right now because Tim gave one of those speeches, to us one day after a game, and really felt like he was talking to me. He was talking to everybody, but he was looking at me. Maybe he was looking at his locker that was next to me. I don't know, but I appreciate that, Casey. I really appreciate that. Yes, he goes out to everybody. We already went on down the line with everybody. That's a great call, Casey.
You're welcome. That's all I can say. You're welcome. Anyways, wow. Shout out to you guys at home. You've been with us. Devin said it off the jump, man. I'm just kind of reflecting on it now to everything he said. Like, we started this and never in a million years did I think we'd be here. And never in a million years. I was more so worried Devin was going to say something. He was going to get us kicked off the air by game 35. But that could still happen. Knock on wood. That could still happen. No, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys being along the way, because it's just been fantastic. All right. Locked On Spurs is your place that you're going all week. Tynan's got you covered on the title pod. We'll have squad shows this week. I don't have the full day-to-day down, but we will be the first to let you guys know when it's all said and done. It's all finalized as we get ready for something that we haven't seen in some time in the Alamo City, and that is the NBA Finals back in town starting Wednesday night. Pretty surreal. All right. So for my good buddy, Mr. NBA champion, Devin Brown, I'm Casey Viera. Please be careful going out honking tonight. This is a valid reason to go out. I'll give you that one. But please be careful, because we want to talk to you guys tomorrow. Have fun and enjoy the victory.